Hey everyone, this is Gainer79. The following is a special presentation of our panels from Anime Central 2015. Due to some technical difficulties, we lost a lot of the audio from our Revolution of Evangelion panel. Sorry about that. If you attended the panel and you want to re-ask your questions, send us an email at dummyplugpodcast@gmail.com. To make up for the lost audio, we have combined the little bit of audio from our Revolution of Evangelion panel with that of the audio from our friend and rebuildofevangelion.org member Vaporwave's panel, Ode to Evangelion. Also, make sure to send us letters for our fan Q&A episode, which we will be doing in the near future. Again, the email address is dummyplugpodcast@gmail.com. Now sit back and enjoy our feature presentation.
Welcome to the Dummy Plug Podcast.
Please enjoy the soothing sounds of Evangelion.
Okay, we are on recording now.
All right, now.
So, let's get started on this thing.
Time for the special surprise.
So, welcome everyone to Revolution of Evangelion, the Dummy Plug Podcast. Thank you. I am your host, Gainer79. Tonight I'm being joined by my good friend Brian Lesser, a.k.a. Bulk Vanderhuge. And joining me for the first time is Jeff. And I was just kind of here. He's going to be bouncing out. He's going to join
Perfect
Lilith.
timing.
So if you guys are...
Okay, go ahead and say hello to everyone.
Ladies and gentlemen, joining us via cell phone is our good friend Asuka.
Hey, is Kamal there too?
Unit
And Kamal too!
Unit 2 in the house. Right, guys, I need a congratulations. These two just graduated college.
Congratulations, you made it!
Us.
Congratulations!
Congratulations.
Congratulations!
All right, guys.
And we got that joke out of the way.
Are you excited? Did anybody go to the Evangelion industry panel earlier today? All right.
Did you guys like it?
Did you guys get your questions answered? Well, you will have your opportunity. We are going to do a full Q&A session. Because God dang it, we want to talk to you guys. We want to answer your questions. We want to be the voice of the people.
We want answers.
We want fun. All right, so before we get into the meat and potatoes of this thing, a real quick thing about us. We represent rebuildofevangelion.org, and we are a forum dedicated to Evangelion in all the universes, the anime, the movies, the manga, and we want to talk to you guys, the fans, because dang it, you guys got stuff to talk about, and we want to discuss it with you, because you know what? If it wasn't for discussions, this would not exist. And
if it weren't for all of you, none of this would be possible.
Thank you, Jeff, because I am fucking drunk.
It's okay, we can remove that in post.
I'm the guy in charge of post. I'd say it's going in.
Just add the beep at the end.
All right. So, really quick, guys, we are having a raffle tonight. And you can win this. The full 6-volume set of Neon Genesis Evangelion Angelic Days, the manga, courtesy of Brian Lesser. So, if you guys want to win that, I have some slips of paper and some pens. Come up, sign your name. We will draw at the end of the panel.
Like now?
End of the panel.
Well, come and sign now.
Well, yeah, come sign now. We will draw at the end of the panel.
Please print your names.
Please, yes.
So we can read
Write your
them.
names and stay.
Yeah.
Please print legibly.
Print legibly.
Legibly and something I can read. Do not. This is not an 18-plus panel. I can't read things with naughty language and stuff. Although I'm pretty sure I've just
Yeah,
completely.
you did. No. I think it's 3, and then it's officially 18 plus. I think that's what it was.
Oh yeah, I got like 3 good ones.
Well, no. Apparently, that was the gag that the Gundam panel did last year.
Yes, I got like.
What was the gag?
Hold on, guys.
Basically, the guy
Spread them around.
had to swear.
Spread them around.
The third time he said, "Screw
We
it,
got
it's
lots
gonna
of
become an
pens.
18 plus panel now."
Sorry, I am way drunk.
I'm gonna laugh if Iowa wins this again.
Iowa can't win. Iowa can literally not win this.
He's not eligible. I'm not eligible because I donated.
Iowa cannot win the raffle.
Just win back your mind.
Jeff cannot win the raffle.
No.
Brian cannot win the raffle. I can't even win the raffle.
Everything.
We're putting down your own name. And towards the end of the panel, I will draw some names. Wait, Iowa, where you at?
He's gone.
He's gone.
Oh, for the love of
He's
Ben.
dead, Jim.
Did he leave the shit?
What shit?
The fucking shirts?
Oh yeah, sure.
Go track his ass down.
Which room would he be in?
I don't fucking know. Like, it's not hard to miss a 6 foot guy with an Evangelion flag.
Yeah, that's true.
Go track his ass down.
I'll be back, guys.
Fuck is he at?
Just name.
Yep, just your name.
Yes, first name, last name, a nickname I can call you by, something I can identify you and you alone with. Don't worry, people, at the and the podcast we will be getting to you soon. We are just getting this out of the way. God,
By the way, we are coming to you live from Anime Central in Rosemont, Illinois.
yes, guys, Anime Central 2015. We've had fire alarms. We've had.
It's been a party.
Fire alarms, fire
I was up till
Why?
4:15 in the morning yesterday at the freaking rave.
George, the weird thing is we've had a surprising lack of ambulances coming to ASEN this
Oh
year.
my god, yeah, what the fuck?
Usually by the Thursday night, the night before, we've had at least 3, and that Friday, during the rave, we've had at least, 7 or 8 come, but none this year.
Guys, we got lots of pens. Lots of pens.
Pens, lots of paper, lots of change.
Yes.
All right.
Put it in the box. We got lots of pens, lots of slips of paper. This one does not count.
First name, last
Yes.
name, someone we can identify you with.
I got a mustache.
Oh,
It's a mustache.
Are you the one producing those damn mustache things?
No, I was on the table when I got here.
Because I found another one here. It was like mixed in with the
Yeah,
the raffle
I know, right?
Yeah. Holy crap.
This is gonna be awesome.
I have actually not read Angelic Days.
Angelic Days is very good. I would highly recommend reading it. Oh, Jesus Christ. Sorry for the manga for the people on the podcast. So, yes, Jeff, for the people who have not read the Angelic Days manga, it is it's a look at an alternate universe in the Evangelion manga that takes a bit of more of a romantic comedy type turn.
Okay.
But a little bit more of a shoujo-esque romantic comedy.
Shoujo rom-com.
A little less Shinji falling into crotches and a little more Rei and Asuka with legitimate feelings for Shinji.
We got him.
So
He just remembered too. So.
Okay. Awesome. So I will announce I didn't even find it.
So finally, an interesting romantic subplot.
Yes.
Romantic
Hold on.
plot.
I don't want to spoil nothing for our listeners, but everything you think you know about Evangelion, there's some really cool stuff. Especially with Kensuke. Kensuke is a much more developed character.
Excellent.
And because
Put our names on.
yes, a name, some kind of nickname. Guys, I forgot to mention this. In addition to the Angelic Days manga, we've got shirts. Those, I believe, what the hell sizes do I even have these things in?
I don't know.
I was the a-hole
Random
ordered these.
swag.
Large.
We have them in large, extra large, and double X. So everybody should have a chance at getting something.
Oh, George, is this in any way related to the other spin-off I heard of called School Days, something like that?
Shinji Ikari Raising Project?
Yes,
you mean?
that's it.
Sort of.
Not directly, but it follows a similar premise.
Okay.
Whereas Shinji Ikari Raising Project is more of a typical slice of life, this is more of a shoujo type of slice of life. All right, guys, are you ready for the meat and potatoes of this sucker? All righty. So,
Get ready to do this.
really quick before I get into that. We host something called the Dummy Plug Podcast.
Which we are not going to shamelessly plug.
Oh, we're going to shamelessly plug the crap out of this
We're
thing.
shamelessly doing it right now.
So, although my listeners on YouTube can't see this, but they've probably seen, if you subscribe, you've seen every one of these things. These particular graphics were designed by my wonderful friend Gairon. You might know Gairon. He does the Bleach Happy to Serve You manga and DeviantArt. And if you're, oh my god, I love that manga to
I've
death.
never heard of that. I just want to say that just to add, appeal.
Yeah, it is an amazing manga. I highly recommend it, especially if you love Bleach. But he designed all this, and I thank him so much for that. But anyway, you can find the Dummy Plug Podcast on YouTube. Like and subscribe. Anyway, guys, so the main thing we're going to be talking about today is who's seen 3.0?
Oh, good. We don't have to do a spoiler warning then.
Well, not for most, but for those who haven't seen 3.0. All right. For those who haven't,
on you then.
For those who have not seen 3.0, this is going to kind of be the meat and potatoes of this, but don't feel left out. We're going to have a big Q&A for you guys. So basically, we're going to talk about the differentiating character shifts from the original series to 3.0, because there is some shit that goes down.
Yeah, really.
Wow, I am.
That's putting it mildly.
That's putting,
I
putting it mildly.
I have got to stop drinking peppermint schnapps.
That should be an outtake for the end of the podcast.
All right. So anyway, the big things to take from this are Shinji grows a pair.
Or at least,
Half a pair.
2.0.
Rei goes from having emotions to being like a living embodiment of nothing.
So nothing's changed.
No. Like Q Rei makes original series Rei look like Asuka original series.
So again, nothing changed.
Yeah.
So she is void.
Yeah, pretty much. Asuka has turned into Big Boss.
I can get behind that.
She's
Personality-wise, basically, she stays the same.
I think she's a little more prone to violence, if anything else.
Still, it's the gradual development, really.
Right.
Why'd you say that like it's a bad thing?
It depends on how you view Asuka. Like, where are my Asuka fans at? So, Asuka, my dear, you have some fans here. Who's claiming Asuka's waifu?
Hey, stand up again.
Who's claiming Asuka's waifu? Come on.
95.
Oh, snap. Oh, I know you. You're the Kimono Wave of Unit 1.
I write in my journal when I was 7 years old.
All right. So in addition to Asuka, we got Misato, who basically turns into fucking M. Bison from Street Fighter.
Again, you said that like it's a bad thing. Who doesn't love M. Bison?
A lot of people.
Well, those people are wrong.
Those people are wrong, especially on Tuesdays.
No, Misato kind of turns from the loving, caring, wants to help Shinji character to Gendo.
No, not even Gendo. More like I'm trying to think of a good like hard ass from a movie, like female from a movie.
Yeah, Sarah Connor. Oh,
Yeah,
that
Arlie Ermy in any of his films?
maybe, I don't know. You're being.
Oh, wait. You also forgot that Gendo can't turn into Keel, too.
No. He turns into Cyclops. The whole movie, I was waiting for him to shout Optic Blast. I wanted him so bad.
Dude, if Gendo turns into anybody, he turns into Jory LaForge. I'm glad I have a Star Trek fan in the audience. Thank you. If you haven't seen Star Trek The Next Generation, go see it.
Next Generation Master Race. Anybody?
All right, thank you.
Hold on.
Good.
Wait, what?
I'll allow it.
Pretty much. So, but yeah, like a lot of the characters change dramatically, and it's such a sudden turn, especially after like the time skip from 2 to 3. Like you almost don't recognize the characters anymore.
Yeah, because at the end of 2.0, it sounds like, yeah, Shinji, make up this thing, go get him. And then in 3.0, she's like, Shinji, you better sit the fuck down.
Shinji is...
It's like she regretted it.
Yeah, you know what? The thing with Shinji, and it's like... At first, Shinji's a reluctant participant. He doesn't really want to get in the giant robot. But then, 3.0 rolls around, he wants to get in the giant robot, and no one wants him to get in the robot.
Oh, my God. No. Oh, my God. You know what this is? This is Razafan.
We've been over this. No one has seen Razafan. Yeah, Kawaru kind of knew what's up, and Shinji just does not care. Yeah, Shinji dropped the other nut.
Before they got the giant robot, Tyra's like, okay, Shinji, just go do this thing, and Shinji's like, what the fuck, no.
And Ray's just like, I'm too cool for this shit.
Ray's like, what's going on?
He doesn't know how to listen to people.
You know what?
Yes.
Shinji is literally the definition of I am going to do the opposite of everything you say because I am a petulant little kid.
No, he is the definition of why you should listen to a brick wall or talk to a brick wall. You're better off talking to a brick wall than talking to him.
Shinji does not just understand the idea that
Especially
people know what's better for him.
Like, people will tell him, Shinji, do this, and Shinji
He doesn't listen.
will not do it.
Actually, wait a minute. There's one person in Shinji's institution. Must run away. Maybe you can trust.
If-
He doesn't not listen, he listens too late.
Yeah.
Like,
He goes ahead and does it, and then...
Right.
yeah,
Okay.
Shinji.
We're getting it to everybody's hands. It's okay.
Don't worry, we got a full Q&A section, so just don't worry about it.
Very almost Shinji to me also was kind of almost like tedious, where it's like he's really excited, like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. And you're like, no, don't do it. She's like, why? It's like, fuck you, we're not gonna tell her.
Exactly.
Now, you know what? That brings up an interesting point. If somebody would have just said to Shinji why we shouldn't do anything, I don't think Shinji would have done it.
Stop the whole movie, but nobody does.
You had something too?
Yeah, I was going to say that the main issue that most people have with Shinji is that they think that he doesn't just know what to do. But the problem is, he's a 14-year-old kid who didn't know what the fuck his dad was doing throughout the whole time period that he abandoned him after his mom died, and he blamed his own son for taking her away from him. He puts her soul into a robot and forces him to go into his mother, but he's like, I ain't into that Oedipus complex shit.
Shit. 420 praise it.
You expect him to know what to do. He's a 14-year-old kid.
Okay.
Hold on. This is literally something that Iowa would say because I know he's brought this up before. Yes. Shinji has a realistic reaction to an extraordinary situation.
Exactly.
Shinji does what any 14-year-old boy would do in the situation that he's put in.
I'm not even gonna complete that sentence. Anyways, you first, then dude right over there, then you're second.
Okay.
So you go.
I was just going to add that Shinji's an abuse victim. You can't expect common sense out of him. He's like when you read about those people that are victims of domestic abuse and they don't call the cops or don't press charges.
Oh yeah.
He doesn't know any better.
And here's what I'm gonna say: the big thing. And how many of you have not seen 3.0? How many of you want? Do you guys care if you're spoiled?
No.
Okay. So let me just get to this. So the fact that, especially going back to what you were saying, with Kaoru, or 3.0 is basically the relationship between Shinji and Kaoru. And the big thing that really got to me was that here Kaoru takes off this bracelet that Shinji has on him, the one that Misato put in.
The cow, yeah.
He puts it on himself. So you would think that you would at least listen to the guy that's at least risking his life for you, but he doesn't. That's the part that gets to me the most, and that's why I have so many quarrels with this movie. Especially just the writing, in my opinion, was just so bad.
It's because in that situation, Shinji isn't being what we believe Shinji is and what he's been described as. He's not having a realistic response to an extraordinary circumstance.
Right.
If someone puts their life in your hands, you're going to treat that with at least some level of respect and decency. You're just not going to run off and do your own goddamn thing. That's stupid.
Now, in defense of that, though, Shinji has been led to believe that he can trust people in the past. But those people then end up betraying him. Example Gendo, example Misato. Now he's got Kaworu in the situation where Kaworu is basically like, I will do anything for you. I will help you. I will love you.
And he still screws it up.
But because of what Gendo's done to him, but because of what Misato has done to him and said to him, he doesn't know he can trust Kaworu.
But none of them have actively taken the responsibility from him and put their lives in his hands. None of them have directly told him, I'm going to take this burden that if you do this will kill you and put it on myself. None of them have actually done that to him.
Right.
Or in a direct manner or in a manner that Kaoru has.
But that's the thing. Kaworu is giving Shinji something he's not used to.
Okay.
He doesn't understand how to handle. So at this point, we lose audio for Revolution of Evangelion. Again, sorry about that. If you'd like to get your questions answered, please send them to dummyplugpodcast@gmail.com, and we will read them as part of our fan Q&A episode. But for now, stay tuned for the second part of this, our good friend Vaporwave's panel, Ode to Evangelion. Enjoy.
And not only that, I have the entire Ava discography on my phone at the courtesy of someone who disappeared suddenly. But I do have it, and I listen to it every single day. It's almost like my alarm, so I wake up and go to bed with it. So, just a few things before I go ahead. Honestly, anytime, raise your hand. If I'm going to answer the question, I will let you know. If not, I will go ahead and answer to the best of my ability, even if it's only tangentially music related. It's fine. I love Ava. I love talking about it. And there will be time at the end of each section to go ahead and ask questions in case you're too nervous to interrupt. So don't worry about that. As you can see in the bold, underlined, italicized text, there will be spoilers, and I will not hold back. I may say when there are spoilers, but a lot of this does rely on how the series develops. And if we do, I do want discussion. I like Evangelion because I like to hear what people think. So I'm not just only going to be talking at you. But if we get a little too hot, I will interrupt, or if someone is, a little too long-winded. I want everyone to get a chance. So yeah, and feel free to talk to me after the panel. I love talking, so it's a good thing in here. So let us start. The first thing, yes.
Will there be Evangelion 3.33 spoilers?
Tangentially, yes, but there will be, and I'll let you know. I'll tell you to cover your ears. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing I realized when I was listening to Mr. Sagisa's music, I recalled some of my favorite composers: Bach, Shostakovich, Tchaikovsky, Beethoven. The concept of instruments being used is symbols specifically, and I realized, well, Ava has a lot of symbols, real or not. Why can't it apply to the music? This is his magnum opus. So here's, after lots and lots of listening, what I gathered. And I will play excerpts for you so you kind of know what I'm talking about, but I'll briefly go over it. The voice, the instrument of the human, something that we are all born with, something that is in every culture across the world, even ones that you or I can't think of. The voice. It is often used in West, the voice of God, but oftentimes it's just the voice of another person, as a lot of places interpret it. And that's what I got from this. The lyrics in NG seem to be, we have the concept of mother is the first other, being that from the womb, the first other person is the mother. So I got the idea that the voice was like the mother speaking to me, speaking to the children in Ava. So I will go ahead, I'm going to be going in and out a little bit. I will go ahead and play for you 2 excerpts from the show of this. So the first is Hajimari e no Toki. So go ahead and listen. Admittedly, I don't know what this translates to. However, in the series, this particular track with the lyrics is used during End of Evangelion. When you have the Lilith Adam complex rises from the egg and reaches to Shinji, trying to grasp his soul and the instrumentality. The piece, the lyrics start, from in the distance is cast a shadow, symbol of freedom, will bring us unity, is very much the voice of fate, the voice of the Mother Ray, being the symbol of the Mother Ray coming from Yui, who is now, spoiler alert, in Unit 1. So we have the symbol of the Mother reaching to Shinji saying, what do you want, my son, my child, what can I bring you? Lilith being the ultimate god of the earth. Many people, especially classical musicians, Bach and Beethoven in particular, who I'll discuss later, believe the voice was the voice of God. And even later, with Mahler. So the next is actually from NG. It is called Introjection, as you can see it there. Can everyone hear okay?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So this piece in particular is what we the scenes that we call the so to speak hell train, Shinji's mind bleep train. This is not aging up, so I can't say the F word, unfortunately. So this is when he is left to himself, and often within the womb of the Ava, the entry club. So this is a lot of self-thought, and the only connection you have inside that womb is with the mother. So you get a lot of this feeling as the mother is giving a lullaby to a child. Those are the first sounds we hear in many cultures is the lullaby since we are in the womb. So that is as far as the voice goes. So then we have next, especially in the Reba, love this guitar. Most often electric guitar. Very, very few pieces have acoustic. That happens more in 3.0, which I'll talk about. So the guitar is the symbol of action, motion, moving, running, getting ready to go. Imagine the Evangelion swooping through Tokyo 3, passing the trees and the buildings. You have this, things are about to happen. So my two favorite and the most iconic pieces from NG that Mr. Sagisu so kindly wrote for us are Decisive Battle and Angel Attack 1. There are actually multiple Angel Attacks. There's 3, but the first one is the most infamous. So I'll just go ahead and play them in succession for you. I intended to have the guitar in this part. There's an awesome guitar solo. But nonetheless, I will also talk about percussion, so don't be too confused if these are not the right clicks, which happens. Here we go. Here's with the guitar. This is Angel Attack. I actually have for you during some of my study, I had to make a full score. So this is my score with my previous legal name on it. So it's a little difficult to hear. Oh, it won't let me move it. Gosh darn it. So you can see here we have the instruments: general strings, high strings, violin, cello, horn, and B flat, trumpet, B, trombone, bass drum, set, timpani, and if we scroll down a little bit, electric guitar, kindly tapped by a friend of mine, bass and electric. So I think these pieces well cumulate. How do you pronounce that? The two ideas of the percussion and the guitar working together. Here's Decisive Battle. This is a piano reduction. Unfortunately, I do not have the name of the person who did this. I pulled this offline, and I would love to talk to them because this is actually very neat. So, this is a piano reduction. You have on the bottom the timpani. We have do, sol. My voice is gone, so I will not demonstrate the solfege for you. I apologize deeply. So this isn't the key. E start, E go down to B. Very, very typical harmony. But it leads to the next phrase constantly. So you have up here, you have here the timpani and the percussion. You have up here the strings, guitar. And do any of us here read sheet music? Okay, so I will actually go ahead and replay the clips again, and just a little bit of it, and follow the score. This one's a little bit different. What you can see here is you've got kind of like the general rhythm up here, although reduced because pianists, I don't know how they do it. And then we have Angel Attack. By the way, I got an A on this assignment.
I hope so.
I got graded to do Evangelion transcription.
I hope you got a fucking A.
So here we have the running theme. It's a little slow, so it's going to do good. You can hear the brass. Give a round for that brass section. Woo! Okay. So anyway, enough about that. Playing it, blah blah blah. I'm smart. I can read sheet music. So that kind of puts the guitar. I apologize that the clips don't have the guitar in it. I was doing this real fast. So anyway, you have the action motion. We hear Latin American percussion, which very quick, very much a dance, and you kind of get the idea with between the angels and the Avas, it's constantly a dance, between how powerful they are, who's going to win. So we have that kind of idea. And with the percussion specifically, we have tension. This is, constant music. You want to find out where we're going next. So we have the fast-moving notes in the percussion to give us the rhythm. Like, oh, we're going to get going. By the way, Decisive Battle and Angel Attack are usually used specifically when they are about to fight the angels, with the exception of Leliel. Angel Attack 1 specifically is one of the first pieces played when Shinji starts fighting Sachiel, whereas Decisive Battle is played in between the launch of the Eva and when he is actually fighting it. So, yeah, I've watched this series maybe like 300 times in a row.
Maybe.
Not enough.
Maybe.
I mean, I'm not saying I have, but maybe I've missed class to watch Ava. We just don't know. Am I a responsible student? So anyway, we have fear and tension represented by the percussion, high sounds. As we have in Borderline Case, this is the song that plays in Shinji's Hell Train. So here we go. Also note the singing, the voices of the other. We also have Rei and the mother appearing in Shinji's mind train, with the exception again of the Leliel scene when Rei could not reach him. So you get the idea of it. So we have in these scenes, Shinji is generally stuck inside the Eva. Alone specifically, that last piece is most famous for when you have the flashes of the white lines. And Shinji's way, this is the me inside myself. This is me that, Father perceives, that Rei perceives, Asuka, blah, blah, blah. And as we know in the series, Shinji is quite afraid of how everyone else sees him. Often causing a lot of struggle, why he pilots the Eva, this kind of thing. So, also we have arguably the string section in Unit 00, also called Beast, renamed later. So we have this kind of idea that there's fear, which goes hand in hand with the action and motion. Generally, motion, action, movement, battles are caused by the fear of the angels. So, if I have Unit 00 up, I'll go ahead and play for you, but I think the next is about Rei. So let's talk about Ghost Girl for a minute. No, just kidding. I love Asuka and Rei equally. The piano, if we notice, is only ever around when Rei, or arguably Lilith, is present. Specifically, my favorite piano piece, Crystalline Night Sky, is played when they are watching Ramiel, and Rey is speaking about her connection with the Avis and said, I pilot this because this is all I have. Rey, as we find out later, spoiler alert, is Lilith, the mother of all humans. Rey has a connection to all people and, as we know, becomes omnipresent and watches over Shinji and all the other people, initiates instrumentality. So here we have the song that played right before the Ranyo fight. So we have that, and obviously we have the infamous piano piece entitled Ray 1. There are a total of 5 Ray pieces. Ray 1 is the most known, and I think we can guess that this might be Ray's theme song. I don't know what tells me that. Here we go. I'd also like to point out for those of us who are music theorists or have perfect pitch, interestingly, a lot of these pieces are in the key of E, natural, which is not a favorite key. It has 5 sharps, which basically means it's hell to read and play. So yeah, we have the piano commonly played when Ray is present or Ray is having an inner monologue, with the exception of Ray's poem, which we saw Borderline Case was played. So that's enough about the instruments. Next we have, rather than instruments, how the music is used. An interval, so I'll explain some of these words. This is music jargon. An interval is the space between 2 notes specifically. 3 or more notes is called a chord. So interval is, like I said, space between 2 notes. A motif is an idea, a music idea, that is repeated throughout a piece that symbolically represents something, a lot like a certain series we're here for. So we have the tritone and the minor second appearing most frequently. The tritone is known as the sound of the devil. It was banned in Western churches because it was thought to bring on demonic thoughts. And then we have the minor second, which was also not allowed because it was only a half a step. Again, I can't sing. I will play clips of how they sound. So we have the minor second, which is considered also very unpleasant. As soon as you hear this, you want to go back to a nice sound, basically. So these were sounds of the devil. And they were not allowed, and I will show you why. They're not exactly the most pleasant sounds. Most music nowadays is dissonant, so for those of us that have never studied classical music, it might sound normal. But think of back in the day, music was highly controlled by the church. Only what the church thought was good music was allowed to be written and played. Otherwise, you'd be, murdered viciously. So here's, I will play the notes at the same time for those of us who hear both notes at once better, and then I'll play them separately. So here's the tritone. I'll go ahead and play it again. Very dissonant, not exactly. So yeah, as you hear, it's nice. Stop! I know you're excited as I am, but jeez. Calm down. I got a lot of Sachiel stickers, the Yudoshito line, which is kind of like a weak angel, so maybe that has something to do with it. Also, Dio's on the back of my computer, so it's probably...
That was your own fault.
It's probably, yeah, it's my fault. Okay, so here's the minor second. It's, for those of us that speak theory, it's T-Do. T-Do. Thank you. You have to resolve this, or else you stay music. So, here's the minor second. So yeah, also not really a pleasant sound. So, Mr. Sled uses this to his advantage. Some of the pieces we saw earlier, Angel Attack, which, as we know, is I think it's played when we're like fighting angels. So we have this play during that, the tritone, the second, the Sons of Devils, because in the perspective of humans, these angels are demons. They're trying to kill us all, as well as the minor second. So I'm going to blab a little bit while the pieces are playing. So I will go ahead and go over Angel Attack one more time for you guys, in case we don't know what that sounds like. Listen to the brass section specifically. Real quick pause. So we hear right there, even immediately, it is going down a chromatic scale, which is all half steps, as we said, these small snareful in Western music. This is one of the most unpleasant. And then we hear the brass jump up a tritone, and the tritone will be better heard here. So yeah, you can hear that tritone especially with some of that high brass, probably muted French horns, I'm going to guess, as well as trumpet. So that's that, and then we have Ava 00, the Berserk Ava unit, which I'll play the song, and then I'm going to talk about a little bit of Ava theory, which we love. Listen to the string section, the violin. So we have that ascending chromatic scale, again, the half steps going downward, the strings falling into badness. So with Ava 00, that is Ray's unit. I am obsessed with Ray Ayanami. Ray Ayanami is such an...
What gave that away?
I don't know. Ray's my daughter, my beautiful daughter. Anyway, so Ray, there's a lot of mysteries. What is in Ray's Ava? We have, spoiler alert, Yui's in Unit 1, Asuka, the half partial of Asuka's mother's soul is in Unit 2. What is in Unit 0, the original unit? I personally subscribe to the theory that within Ava 00 is Ray 1. If you remember, Ray 1 was brutally murdered by Ritsuko's mother. And when we see Ray when we get those flashbacks of Ray in Unit 1, when he smashes his head against the wall and getting out of here, we see a young girl who looks like Ray come forward in this fish eye view, sneering, just nasty grin that a child should not have. I believe that is Ray 1's the soul put in there. And if you remember, Ray, spoiler alert, has the soul of Lilith within her, although having the body made of these genes. So I have the belief that is the most intact soul of Lilith, and Lilith is angry at humans. Lilith is the god of Earth, which we descend from in Evangelion. Imagine if you put a god in a child's body and was like, by the way, you're going to kind of do what I want because I'm going to do Ikari. Yeah, and Lilith originally in the Bible was the first wife of Adam. Not a lot of people know this. This is in the Dead Sea Scrolls. I remember what that reminds me of. So Lilith is in the Dead Sea Scrolls, the original wife of Adam. Trigger warning for sexual assault and rape for anyone who is upset by anything. God made Lilith and Adam equal. Lilith told Adam, I will procreate with you, but I must either be on top or we must be at the same level. I will not procreate underneath you. I am equal to you. Well, Adam said, I'm kind of a douchebag, and I'm going to try and force you to have sex in the position I want. Lilith resisted. Lilith was like, no, you're not treating me equal. This is not right. So Lilith basically was like, F this dude, and did her own thing. And Ashley is probably the only person to avoid hell, because hell was not created yet. So we have Lilith defying God himself. How cool is that, right? So then God was like, well, I'm amped. And so decided to then take the rib of Adam, pause Evangelion time. So we remember Adam was second impact. They then made the Avas from Adam, so from the rib of Adam, just like Eve was of Adam. So Eve did what Adam wanted because Eve was not as cool as Lilith. And that was that. Lilith was then only mentioned that she's supposed to be the evil woman, not the ideal woman at the time. Women were expected, unfortunately, to be subservient and were not expected to take a role like they do now. So you have this idea that Lilith is not good. So back to Eve, off that biblical root. So the Lilith, a little goddess, defied God's very will, is stuck in this child's body and now has to do what a man is telling her to do. F no. So Lilith is then forced into the Eva, and when approached by another fragment of her own soul, that has to be confusing. So that's why she slams her head against it. So anyway, that's what I think. A long-winded rant. There are some other theories, like maybe Rito's mom is in there, but I personally disagree just because of the images. Does anyone have any other idea? Any other ideas? I'd love to hear other theories, if anyone has any other idea what's in Unit 0. Yes?
Not so much an alternative theory as further support for what you said.
Oh, cool.
Coming from the edgy YouTube video game that I mentioned in
do you mind standing up so everyone can see you?
In that game, when that same image appears, its voice is explicitly labeled as Ray.
Thank you. Yeah, so there we go. That's actually I have not played that game, and I was spot on. Woohoo, I'm smart.
Yay!
So yeah,
Yay for smart people.
Back to the music. So we have this half-step demonic, devilish Lilith is rejected in the Bible and only briefly spoken of in the Kabbalistic books. So we kind of have that. So next, a wonderful combination of the half-step, the tritone, the upcoming timing of death, which is played
Mandy,
right before
can you do me a
she is
favor?
absorbed into Leliel.
Can you hold this and keep filming?
Nearly experience death. So we have this. Asuka, Rei, and Shinji are waiting with their guns, ready to shoot this weird zebra in the sky. And instead they get a delightful surprise. So here's this excerpt of the song. Kind of rings the ears, doesn't it?
I actually think it's kind of pretty.
Alright, you get the idea. So how this piece moves is we have above the tritone, only, again, interestingly enough, a half step away, another demonic tone. You add two demonic tones, you get the perfect fifth, the most idealized sound within the church. We move from a perfect fifth to the tritone. So you move from the voice of God to a demonic sound. And then that whole fifth tritone thing goes up a half step. So, that's kind of odd, and you can see why it was then, therefore, if it's moving a lot like a devil would musically, you can see why it's played before Belial absorbs Shinji, which is the whole humanity. So, then we have rhythmic motifs. I'll try to go through this real fast. I'm so badly. We have eighth notes. So, can I have kind of a volunteer who's rhythmically well?
Rhythmically, I don't know. I'm a soprano.
No, it's I know I'm a percussionist. It's scary. Can you please count for me? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and. So thank you very much. So what I was doing was basically splitting it in half. That is an eighth note. And then we have long tones, which are basically notes that are played for a really long time, infamously in trombones and tubas. So we have this, the eighth notes again goes to percussion, so movement, and the long tones that is more the voice, the other, the mother, as I mentioned earlier. So I don't know if I really have anything that demonstrates that because we already listened to it, but I am going to show you guys my favorite piece from End of Evangelion. Again, we have half steps, moving eighth notes, the whole deal in this piece, which is the rhythmic reduction of Midsummer's Evening or something like that. I honestly like the rhythm better. So we have this people of the UN, I believe, and the Japanese military are invading Earth, and so we have this intense moment. At this point in the song, we would also have the strings descending half note, but this is a rhythm version. So again, this is when nerve is falling apart now. We have this kind of fear. Apparently, the hope of humanity is now falling apart. So that is really it for Ava. I know a lot of times that my brain understands things, and sometimes it's hard for other people. So before I move on to this amendments, does anyone have any questions? Okay, we're good. So amendment, classical pieces. At Anime Midwest, if I can get this approved, I will be having my wonderful friend Gray, aka Oscar, coming in. Congratulations to them. They just graduated with a degree in theology, and they will be talking about the religion in the music. So we have Bach, Handel, Beethoven, Bach, born humbly in Germany, the most renowned organist for his polyphony, so many meters and sounds at once, overwhelming to the ear, almost as much as Stravinsky so many years later. So we have Bach, who considered his vocal pieces to be the voice of God. They were purely religious, all good sounds, healthy sounds for the church, because Bach believed if we're not going to write in the voice of God, there's no point to write at all. And also consider this was like right before 1750, so the church was still kind of a big deal. Then we have Handel, a contemporary of Bach for some time. Handel was most notably in England, writing the Messiah. Hallelujah. So we have that. We have Handel, who also, a lot like Bach, wrote for the church and believed that the voice must be the voice of God. And then many years later, Beethoven, believed to be one of the finest innovators of symphony and piano sonata, believed also that music must be the sound of emotion, the sound of faith, a lot like what God does for us. So, interestingly enough, Bach, the voice of God, Handel, the voice of God. Bach plays at the end of Evangelion. I honestly don't remember when. I apologize. I should be better on that. Handel, though, we remember the Messiah chorus infamously when her mind was being examined, torn apart by some form of alien, but we're playing a song of God. And yet, Oscar, against her own will, is being analyzed by something that may or may not be a God. And interestingly enough, I'm kind of going with that. But then we have Beethoven, the voice of faith. Beethoven, Ode to Joy, played when Cairo was in the hand of Unit 1, begging for death. Kill me, you must decide your fate. And yet, that is a piece about fate. In Beethoven's heroic age, he was going deaf, and yet he was going to write and defy fate itself. But then Shinji falls into fate. Shinji doesn't defy fate. Shinji instead does what he's always done. Exactly what he's told. So it's kind of interesting that they use this pretentious track, which is public domain and didn't cost anything. Good job, Gainax.
So they say.
Yeah, that budget though. And speaking of budget, we have budget. So if you listen to the track a lot, there's a lot of synths. Not many actual recordings. There are now remastered versions. But obviously the use of synths, especially in the voices and some of the percussion, he almost had to rely on repeated ideas to make a point with the music. So it was like, well, this is going to be kind of intense. I don't have a full orchestra, so I guess I'll bust out a rhythm track on this, kawaii piano thing. That's actually a piano brand, kawaii, so yeah, interesting. So, with this in mind, do we have any questions about the music in NG? I can probably answer it, honestly. Yes, back there? Real quick?
I was just wondering if spending time in preparation based on John Barry's book was something you sound very, very simple.
Yes, I have been asked that actually on my favorite forum, Rebuild of Evangelion. Iowa, my great friend, asked, hey, can you look at this? Yes, Mr. Sagisu did borrow from 007, the Hannibal Takes Lecter, and put it in Decisive Battle. So, yeah, basically, yeah. Any other questions? Excuse me, sorry about my voice. Yes, back there, real quick. We are going to talk about that. Segue. So, instruments and symbol, question mark. We had some of the most phenomenal film score written by Mr. Sagisu himself 20 years later. Imagine all the improvement, all his opportunities to write, and now, with this huge stinking budget, You can have a full orchestra playing everything you want, plus wonderful mixing. We have Logic, we have FL Studio, things that can really provide good sound. So we have a mixture of that. Unfortunately, with the use of film score, I personally feel, as a musician, that the symbols became less important. Because then it wasn't more about the symbols music contribute and how you rely on it. It became about how epic cool can I make this sound. So we have guitar and percussion. Space, action, motion, as in many, many, many pieces guitar and percussion does. So it does kind of lose the tension we have, especially like in pieces with borderline case and stuff. So I will go ahead and play you some of my two favorite pieces from the rebuilds. We will play Showdown and It Will Mean Victory, and Keep Your Head Above the Mayhem. Listen to that mixing though, that chain compression.
Focus.
Talk about the lyrics. Fight or die with truth and honor. Like, literally go out there and, like, basically go die for our purpose, for Nerf's purpose. Just the next, okay, can I just talk about It Will Mean Victory for a second?
No.
I'm walking to class, and I'm like, I got a final, I got a test I'm gonna fail, I will play this, and suddenly everything is better. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, cow shit or whatever, like, I'm gonna do something, like, BA. So, I'm gonna be bad. Woo! I'm gonna fail this final. I had to make a long clip so you can hear the lyrics. They're intense. Stand under the fight, time to be counted. New warriors come, deadly invasion. Scum from hellfire. Like, holy crap, dude. That's intense. So yeah, next is Keep Your Head Above the Mayhem. Showdown was from 1.0. It Will Mean Victory was from 2.0, and Keep Your Head Above the Mayhem is from 2.0.
The video is not the important part. The audio is, because we may have had a big of a fuck up with. So this is Plan B. If they will allow it, I've got an idea. This is exactly why I'm in charge of these kinds of things. But thank you again for keeping this going.
So yeah, that's kind of obviously about good versus
You enjoying it? Good.
So we have, and you heard the percussion, Fight Onward, Be a Soldier. A lot of recalls to military marching bands. Then we also have the voices, a little out of order, sorry. Becomes the sound of power and invigoration, as we heard. Lyrics that were about fighting soldiers, the fighting spirit, to get up and play with the freaking Ava shit. So I'll go ahead and play a few more that has the voice of God's Message, Carnage. I feel like that's all kind of stuff.
Then why don't you pilot the Ava?
What?
Ooh.
Wait, what? Oh no, go on.
Yeah, come on.
Say it again.
Come on, Shinji.
Why don't you pilot the Ava?
Why don't I?
Yeah.
She does pilot an Ava. What the hell
I
wrong with
pilot
you?
more than you do and get killed like twice in the original series. More than you can have. Plus, at least Gendo likes me.
Hey, at least I'm
Boom, bro.
I'll go ahead and play the other voice sounds for you. Deaf brass. Woo, those high notes. This is from 3.0, and you see the flashing text down here. The idea. So the carnage had no hiding place for anyone. Like. You have the voice, calling into battle. So you have that kind of idea. So the voice is more of power and invigoration than you have the mother, as it's used in NGE. It's a very soft lullaby, as I mentioned earlier. And here we hear it's like, yeah, go do your stuff, play with the robot, yeah, Avon, hi, best swear word. Wow, I gotta do 80 plus next time, I swear. So then we have the piano. Now I gotta talk about this right now. So Ray Q, tentative name Ray Ayanami, tentative name Q with tentative possible future name question mark. Ray Q is not Ray because if you remember in 2.0 how unfortunately canon it may be, Ray's kind of like sucked either into the SDAT or into the core. I personally believe that Ray is sucked into the core, and that's why Ava cannot function as Shinji. Is because we have the fight of Lilith's soul and Yui's soul. Yui wanting to control instrumentality, and Ray being like, So obviously piano anymore cannot be Ray because Ray is basically non-functional in 3.0 because we have a new Ray, question mark Ray. Who's this Ray? And also let's talk about how Ray Q has the exact opposite color of white and black. I mean, there's so many similarities to different Ray, plus that they don't remember anything. Sorry, I'm just here with my headcanons. So Ray doesn't remember anything that was happening in 2.0. So this is clearly something going a little wrong. So here we have piano. It ends up becoming internal struggle. Now 3.0 is when piano is used the most, and that is more the psychological film out of the rebuilds. 1.0, in my opinion, this is subject to opinion here. You're allowed to disagree. I think 1.0 was like, hey, look, this is just Avery done. 2.0 was like, oh, hey, here, mindless fan service. 3.0 was on, I'm like, so you thought. So, I'm sorry, I'm really biased. I hate 2.0 and I love 3.0. You'll kind of get that idea how I talk about it. It's all personal. You're allowed to like whatever films you like. You are not less of an Ava fan, and I am no better, no matter how pretentious and smart I may be. So I'm going to play some of my favorite pieces. These are mostly played when Shinji is speaking to Rei, pushing over the books, wandering around the destroyed nerve, having conversations with Kaoru, things like that. Cool. So, let us go ahead and play the wonderful piano pieces. Absolutely gorgeous. This is specifically played when Shinji is with Rei and he knocks over books because he's frustrated that Rei doesn't remember anything. I'm going to take up 8 brown books because I'm Shinji and I'm immature. I love Shinji. Totally kidding. Listen to this theme. It recalls some of the other music from the original series. This is afterwards when he's had this encounter with Rei and he's kind of rethinking everything. Like, what do I know? Do I know anything? Am I worth anything? So this is again that internal struggle of self-value. It should sound a little familiar from NGE. Okay, so now getting the idea. Admittedly, please forgive me. I can't remember what piece that high part borrows from. I don't think it's one of my favorite pieces in NGE. Which is probably why I don't remember offhand, because I'm not as obsessed with NGE as probably all of us are. So we have that. So that's kind of that. So let me go back to this. So we have what else changed. Obviously, huge budget. So then you get this film score. We actually have actual orchestras playing this time. So obviously there's audition processes, having to do recording. By the way, for those of us that have never been in a university or done music recording, oh my god, it's terrible. Like the recorders are on edge, the conductor's on edge, like your section's on edge. It's a very intense. So there's a lot of money and time that goes into this. Also better mixing. It's been 20 years. We have better technology. So we can make the sounds match a little better, blend better. Unfortunately, though, like I mentioned, he recycles music between series. From Magi, the Labyrinth of Magic, he actually draws the Ultimate Soldier. Like, literally directly takes that piece and goes, man, I don't feel like writing this, and this is due tomorrow morning. Which happens with musicians all the time. We are lazy. He also borrows, in 3.0 specifically, some music from Nadia of Blue Water. And then also, I was listening to the Black Bullet OST, and I realized that a lot of the motifs and the general sounds and
repetition underneath.
Pause. Yeah, ostinato is when you take
I had to switch
like a
platforms,
rhythm
but
or
yes.
certain notes and play them constantly underneath. Continue.
I just
Memory
noticed
full.
a lot of that.
I got 45 minutes though.
Rebuild especially.
Yes, rebuild, yes.
And
Better than the
Bobby,
18
what
minutes of his
you
he got.
think, like that maybe would point
Yep.
to as a symbol.
Fucking
I think
microphone
especially
fucked up at some
ostinato
point.
is used for consistency.
Yes, it
rebuild
does.
is not consistent. It messes everything up. I think it definitely gives us not only security musically, but with the feeling of the series, at least it keeps us not so on edge. As we noticed in 3.0, a lot of them simply did not have an ostinato. There was nothing consistent underneath, as the film is not supposed to be consistent. Okay, so really quick, I've got short
I wish I
time.
had a better
I
memory
what
card.
I
I'd
did
have
for
just
you.
done it through
Okay,
PC.
so why I honestly think the music in NG is better. First of all, the instrumental symbolism is more profound. It matches better, and I think there's a more brilliant use of musicians, composers especially. When we have very little, we make the most. And I think everything that Mr. Sagisi did was so much more profound, so much more meaningful. And NG, whereas in Rebuild, he kind of has whatever, he can do what he wants, so he kind of just makes something that sounds cool and doesn't really make sense. So, really quick, I went ahead and made a video of me playing piano for you, some of the basic chords and whatnot in the two pieces, Komusu Sertada and Tsubaso Kudasai. I'm not a pianist, please forgive me for this kind of clumsy. Chords, and the verses are as follows. Here's the general structure. I can show to those after we're more interested. Basically, this is just kind of saying, like, you see all these different parts that are here. Basically, Komusu Sertada is a lot of more involved differences and contrasts, whereas Tsubaso Kudasai is more of a typical pop song. We see here a verse, a first bridge, a verse, chorus, a second bridge, a verse, and chorus. We have verse, chorus, bridge, blah, 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 blah. So, you know what, I don't have time to play the video for those of us that do play piano or are more interested in the actual chords. I can go ahead and show you that in sheet music. Unfortunately, I do not have time. So, here are the lyrics. We have kind of this suicide note. But at the same time, if we listen to these, the music in the background is quite happy. interestingly enough, love that juxtaposition as Ava loves to do. And then in Tsubasa wa Kudasai, we have very simple, obviously, like, go back please, wall of text, and then this. So, in the Tsubasa wa Kudasai, despite all the chords are major or happy chords, quote unquote, in the West, we have all these short lyrics. Now, in Eastern Europe, more specifically Jewish communities, major keys and major chords are sad. Happy lyrics, sad background. Go backwards. We have a happy background, sad lyrics. If we pay attention to Evangelion, and we see the specific Konsuserta, is when everyone's being put in instrumentality and in GE, we're all dying, the world's ending, blah, blah, blah. So, we have this like really sad lyrics but really happy background, and I noticed that in EOE, it's okay as happy as Evangelion can be, the actual ending. Despite it seeing sad, we have Shinji choking Asuka, we're confused, but ultimately they're alive. Ultimately people have the will to make their own decisions, and that sounds pretty cool, right? Being able to decide what we want. Unless you're Shinji, you want everyone to decide for you. And then we have in Tsubasa wa Kudasai, very happy lyrics. This is all about growing wings and growing up and making your decisions and going on. But the background, as mentioned, is all major keys, more kind of a sad type ordeal in Eastern music. So, pause. I said in EOE, it looked like it was sad, but it was actually happy, kind of like the music. This looks happy, but it's actually sad. I personally believe that with that foreshadowing, the end of ROE is going to suck. We are going to be real mad. So, that's just kind of one of my things. So, really quickly. I'm sorry I have to blow through this ending, but do we have any questions, anything we want to discuss about the music? I honestly, even though I have a degree in this, like, I'm so open to hearing from other people. Honestly. In the back real quick.
I just wanted to know that if you heard the song, that instead of Konsuserta, I can't pronounce the German, but the other song that you were going to use called All You've Ever Dreamed.
Yes, I have heard that. I don't remember it too well, but I have heard it. I can go ahead and listen to it and add that to that panel, like, what's the difference in that? Sometime, if you want, if you're going to Anime Midwest or Yomicon or something, I can definitely talk about that. Yes, in the front, 2 sentences.
Okay. Basically, I'm on staff for Midwest. I can try to push your panel because I really love this. I would love to see it at Midwest.
Thank you. And I am going to have a guest who does, like I said, have a different degree in theology, so like we'll be able to talk about religion more. Any other questions? And again,
I want to try to give him as much time as possible too, then if that's going to happen.
Do you have any quick questions
Yeah, I know.
or contribution that might help me or anyone else in the room?
Like as soon as I
No?
can,
Okay,
I'm
cool.
gonna
So,
talk
a trivia real quick. I do have 2 prizes. They are secrets, but they are from my personal radio showings. So, first question.
Good call.
Who is the singer, hands down, I will tell them, who is the singer for Rebuild of Evangelion 1.11's Beautiful World? Recently, hands down, I'll tell you when to put them up. Recently also released video 3, 2...
Now!
Don't! I said don't. 3, 2, 1! I'm sorry, I saw you over here first. Yes, you got it right! So, if they're in here, you get a little marching band ring.
Oh, that's adorable!
She's, okay, the symbol looks like Sachiel's head. It's real cute. So I actually want to go beast mode for this one. Oh, you want? Okay, you're welcome. So I want to go beast mode on this one. What key is Konsuserta in? Do any of us know?
You showed us the chord.
It's not E, but that's a really good guess, yeah?
I'd say D.
D, no. It's actually in B flat. That was just more of trivia. Okay, so who is the composer for all these wonderful pieces in Evangelion? I'll tell you when to raise your hand. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1. I'm sorry, I saw yours first. Yes, it is. So, your prize is a little tiny Ray playing a melodica. There you go. Again, from my personal Ray shrine. So, if you want to contact me, my online handle is Vaporwave, a pound of Vaporwave in Evangelion. So yeah, I'm on Tumblr. I do mostly have a queue there, but if you send me an ask, I'll answer. I'm on Twitter. And also, I do have cards that I will set up. I am on, you know what, I'm going to put this here. This is a good idea. I should have thought this through.
You probably should have done that at the beginning.
I am on the Rebuild of Evangelion forums. It's a smaller forum, but we do have very in-depth discussion about Evangelion, and I
all
babble
fucking
a lot
nuts.
and talk about this kind of thing. I like made a wall of text basically just by how she feels.
Yeah, it's fine.
but when I'm on it,
So yeah, I
Ava
have
Mania
cards up
came
here
back.
for those of us that want to join the site. We have these
Really?
kinds of discussions all the
That's
time,
good to
and we
know.
love
Mhm.
hearing
I
from
haven't
people.
heard about
We
them
just, I
forever.
don't know, it's kind of tight.
He came back on the grid today.
Some really good
Oh,
discussions.
wow.
A lot of
I know,
things
right?
we often
So
have
he's not
used
dead?
before any of
No.
the other
He's done with life. He's good with his school and life for the moment. So he's actually working on getting us back onto iTunes.
So I have cards up here for those, and then
Yes, it
I
is.
will be outside the panel room if I
I'm very
Oh, yeah,
happy.
I have Skype too. Feel free to add me. I love talking to people, even if it's about like, hey, guess what? I full comboed on Love Live. Heck yeah. So, no, not Couture. Hanayo, best girl. Yes, you have a hand? Oh my God! This is my friend Gator. Come up here. He actually is one of the leaders of ROE. I'm so glad to see him. I don't know if you were there for his podcast, but it's hilarious.
You're what?
Cards for the Dummy Plug podcast for him and my friend Iowa are a part of. Like I said, they're absolutely hysterical. Would absolutely recommend. So yeah, I'll have the cards up here, but I've got to end this. Thank you so much for being a part of my first panel ever. Oh my gosh, you guys are wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And like I said, cards will be up here. You can talk to me, but I will be outside very soon to answer any questions or talk about whatever, honestly. Please talk to me.
All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed our feature presentation. Again, please make sure to send all questions to dummyplugpodcast@gmail.com. We are especially looking for questions for our upcoming fan Q&A episode. So again, this is Gainer79, and we will see you next time.